Ever wish you could, like, bottle wisdom, you know? Like, distill it down to a single tweet?
Wouldn't that be something?
Well, get this. That's basically what Krishna Kumar does in less than 280 characters. And that's our deep dive today, folks. Pure, concentrated insight coming right up.
It's kind of amazing, actually. The way he deliberately limits himself to Twitter's character count, each thought is like this perfectly formed little gem, no wasted words.
Right. It's almost like a rebellious act these days, you know? In a world of endless scrolling, long form, everything. He's like, hold on, I can blow your mind to 280 characters or less.
And the best part is, it totally works. Because deep down, that's what we all crave, isn't it? Those aha moments without the information overload.
Totally. Efficiency is the name of the game.
Exactly. And Kumar seems to be saying that brevity in itself can be a superpower.
And, you know, he walks the walk. He's got this one line, a text, a tweet, a 10-second voice note that is enough to make a change. Pretty bold statement, don't you think?
It is, but then again, think about it. How many times has a single message, maybe even a perfectly placed emoji, seriously, I'm not kidding, how often has something small like that shifted your perspective? Or even just changed your whole mood for the day?
It's true. Sometimes it's the little things, you know?
Right, like
Yeah.
that saying the smallest pebble can create the biggest ripples. That's Kumar's point. He's pushing us to find that power in those small but intentional actions, especially in this crazy digital world we live in.
Speaking of which, he does not hold back on the digital age. One thing that struck me is how he points out the irony. Like, here we are, more connected than ever globally, but sometimes it feels like the internet is making us more isolated locally.
It's true, right? It's like this weird paradox, hyper-connected, yet oddly alone.
And then there's his point about social media, how it's
Yeah.
basically designed to feed our biases, almost like a, what do you say, a dopamine drug.
Yeah, and we all feel it, right? That constant pull to scroll, even when we know deep down it might not be good for us.
Like our brains just can't resist. Which makes you wonder, can our poor 10,000-year-old brains even handle technology changing this fast?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Part of me is like, bring on the future. But the other part is totally overwhelmed. Kumar's work, though, it kind of forces you to ask, how can we be more mindful about all this? It's not about demonizing technology. It's about figuring out how to use it without letting it use us.
Finding that balance, right?
Exactly. And that idea of balance, that seems to pop up a lot in his writing.
For sure. But his insights aren't all about the digital world. He can get deep, man. He talks about the whole human experience just as sharply, I might add.
Yeah.
Like that one line, life is a controlled hallucination. A little madness keeps us sane.
Oh, I love that one. So much packed into so few words.
Right. It's like he's reminding us that a little chaos, a little questioning of what we think is real, it's actually healthy. Essential, even.
It makes you question your definitions, you know? What does it even mean to live a controlled life? And where's the line between order and, well, a little bit of madness?
Makes you think, that's for sure. And then there's that other line of his that really got me. It's about how much of our lives are shaped by forces outside our control. He says genes, hereditary information within us, we have no control. Memes, cultural information forcefully influencing us. Our life is between genes and memes. We only have an illusion of control. It's almost like he's drawing this parallel between our biological programming and our cultural programming, both shaping us in ways we don't even realize.
And that's a powerful thought to unpack, especially when you consider that memes, he's not just talking about funny pictures on the internet. He means it in a broader sense, like any idea, behavior, or belief that spreads through culture.
Oh, wow. I didn't even think of it like that. So he's basically saying that a huge part of who we are is determined by things beyond our control.
In a way, yeah. Which can feel kind of daunting when you really think about it, but it can also be kind of freeing, don't you think?
How so?
Well, if you buy into that idea, it's like, okay, maybe I'm not entirely responsible for everything, but I can at least try to be aware of these influences, right?
Mhm.
And then choose how I respond.
That makes sense. It's not about surrendering control completely. It's more about understanding the forces at play.
Exactly. And then, of course, there's Kumar on love. Always a good topic.
Oh, yeah. He does not disappoint. That one line, love is poetic in the beginning, biological in the middle, and philosophical later. Boom, he just summed up the entire arc of a relationship in a single sentence.
Amazing, isn't it? Like he's condensed an entire lifetime of experience into these tiny little capsules of wisdom.
It's true. It really makes you appreciate the power of choosing your words carefully.
and the power of recognizing those universal truths that resonate with us all, no matter how they're expressed.
It's funny how he ties all this back to the importance of listening.
It's kind of everything, isn't it? If you really think about it.
Well, and he's not just talking about, hearing words. He's talking about really opening yourself up to new emotions, ideas, maybe even parts of yourself you'd rather avoid.
Right. Like, are you really listening if you're not willing to have your mind changed?
Now, that's a good question. It's like that saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Hmm.
But are we always ready to be the student? Especially when the lesson is tough.
That's the thing about growth, though, isn't it? It's not always comfortable. Pushing past those edges of what we think we know.
Totally. And on that note, Kumar talks a lot about finding your purpose, which I know is something you're passionate about.
Oh, absolutely. It's something I think about all the time. And Kumar, he has this way of boiling it down, making it feel less daunting. Like, he reminds us that purpose doesn't have to be this big, huge thing.
Right. It doesn't have to be this grand life mission.
Exactly. It can be way simpler than that. Like, what if it's just about striving to be a little bit better each day, finding little moments of meaning in the everyday stuff?
I love that. It takes the pressure off. It's not about finding this one big purpose. It's about bringing a sense of purpose to everything you do.
Exactly. And finding that joy in the process, and the continual becoming.
I like that. Continual becoming. It's so true. It's a journey, not a destination.
Ugh.
Although Kumar did say something about purpose being like the best alarm clock you'll ever have.
Ah, that's a good one.
Right. Sign me up for that wake-up call. But, okay, seriously, how do we actually cultivate this sense of purpose? How do we live more intentionally?
Well, Kumar talks a lot about self-reflection. It's crucial, taking that step back from the busyness of life so you can reconnect with, your inner self.
So making time for things like mindfulness, those practices that help quiet all the noise so you can actually hear yourself think.
Exactly. Creating space for stillness.
Okay.
Because that's where the magic happens, That's where a lot of us find clarity.
Yeah. It's like that pause between breaths, that moment of stillness where you
Yep.
can actually hear yourself think.
And in that stillness, you might just tap into your intuition, that inner voice that's been trying to guide you all along.
It's about trusting yourself
Right.
and knowing what you need.
100%. And part of that is recognizing that you can't pour from an empty cup,
So true. Taking care of yourself, that's not selfish, it's essential.
Exactly. It's an act of service, not just to yourself, but to everyone around you. And you know what else Kumar talks about?
What's that?
Failure. He actually encourages it.
Embraces it even.
Because it's not the opposite of success, it's part of the path.
Okay, that is a good point. It's all about how you frame it, I guess.
Totally. It's about reframing those so-called failures as opportunities for learning, for growth.
And giving yourself permission to be perfectly imperfect.
Right. And to laugh at yourself along the way because, as Kumar reminds us, life is way too short to take it all so seriously.
You got that right. Life's too short to be so serious all the time.
Totally. It's like he's giving us permission to lighten up, to embrace the messiness and just enjoy the ride.
Because it's going to be messy no matter what you do.
Oh, yeah, guaranteed. But imagine, what if we could approach all those messy, imperfect moments with a sense of curiosity instead of beating ourselves up,
Oh, I like that. Curiosity over judgment.
Right. That's where the good stuff happens. When you can laugh at yourself, learn from those missteps, and just keep going.
It's all about progress, not perfection, as they say.
Couldn't have said it better myself. It's like Kumar's reminding us that we're all works in progress, always evolving, always learning.
And the journey itself, that's the real reward, as cheesy as that might sound.
It's true, though. We get so caught up chasing some future version of ourselves that we forget to appreciate right now, this moment.
It's like that quote, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans.
Exactly. Kumar would totally agree with that. So to kind of bring it all home, it seems like his message is ultimately about embracing brevity. In our words and in our perspective,
Less is more.
In a way, yeah. It's about cutting through all the noise, focusing on what truly matters, and approaching it all, life, the universe, everything, with a sense of intention and wonder.
And maybe a little humor sprinkled in.
Always. A little humor goes a long way. But yeah, finding those nuggets of wisdom in unexpected places. Like, who would have thought you could find such profound insights within the confines of a 280-character tweet?
Right. It's amazing. Well, Kumar did it. In case you're wondering, he totally pulled it off. So there you have it, folks. If you enjoyed this deep dive into in less than 280 characters, you really should check out the book. It's a quick read, but those short, sharp insights, they really stay with you.
They really do. Might even inspire you to craft a few profound tweets of your own.
Now there's a challenge. We'll be watching, folks. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep sharing your own unique voice with the world.